I wanted to ask you about delivering creative, and Mark Pritchard spoke about delivering these amazing ads, the Tide ads over the Super Bowl, 90 seconds, and that's just one thing, but I wanted to ask you about the new opportunities to deliver video across screens in these different formats and these different scenarios. So what are you guys doing? What's exciting, and what are some of the challenges in cross-screen delivery?
Yeah, so I mean, the premise of Hearts and Science is that we are a data-driven organization that will enable us to really understand when the right time is to go cross-screen and what depth it is that we should be going cross-screen. So we're clearly doing a lot of that. I think besides kind of the cross-stream everyone's thinking about, right? These days, there's also the issue of addressability, and that's something we're looking at, I think, in a deeper, much more closer way, because it fits our philosophy that rather than targeting from the top down, that we now have the ability to understand the individual's behavior, and what we should be doing is taking that and spreading it out until we reach a point where we have enough volume that we can actually drive growth for our client's business. And that gets you into that addressable space where you have much more opportunity to be highly targeted.
When you say addressable, do you define that as a household, a niche audience, or an individual? And some people use it in terms of the cable and the satellite and that, household.
Correct. So I don't think it's about addressable being an individual. I think it's about the way we use the data and understand the individual and then cluster that together to understand their behaviors so that when we look at addressable, we can make better matches between that behavioral targeting and where we place it, which is very hard to still do in linear TV. So it gets better when you get into other forms of video, but it gets even richer when you get to addressable. So it's a continuum. The biggest numbers are still in TV, despite the huge ratings declines. It's an area of concern for all of us. I mean, you saw the creative that Mark shared. The power of that, the ability to put that kind of message out still resonates probably stronger than anything else, but finding the forums for it is harder than ever, right? So you have ratings decline in linear media, and then you have some of the safeties issues that we've now run into with a platform like YouTube in the social space. So we have to continuously look for different places because the power of that advertising when it can be in video format.
Cool. And I wanted to ask you about transformation, the transformation of the media agency, and clearly a new media agency, and you guys are doing really well with gigantic wins. And tell us about a little bit about Hearts and Science and kind of how that fits in the media landscape and kind of what the goals are there.
Yeah, I think the whole media landscape is realizing that we have richer data than we used to. And the benefit of that is being able to make smarter choices, more targeted choices where that's appropriate. I think the difference between the acknowledgement that that is what we have and that should allow us to make better decisions and Hearts and Science is that we were able to take the work that Omnicom has been doing over the last 5 years with the formation of Analect. So they spent 5 years, huge investments, building out the technology and bringing in the richest data sources before taking it out in a robust way to our clients. So when we were ready to launch a new agency that is about data, we had already learned and had access to the technology, the forms of data, and were able to quickly move into how that data informs decisions. And it informs it from the highest strategic level in terms of segmentation work, targeting work, right down to the analytics of how a media is delivering on ROI.
And one last question. We've been speaking to some people about creative optimization, versioning of creative. There's some technology that allows that to be done. Some of the creative agencies are making multiple versions. What are your thoughts about versioning, and either by hand or through technology?
Right. I mean, I think versioning is the kind of thing that is very, very detailed and needs to happen incredibly fast. And so you have to change your view of it as a piece of creative that you would take time to develop. And I think that the media agencies are set up to be able to do that, right? So they are the ones with the view to what's happening and the ability, therefore, to act upon what's happening with that versioning. Now, that doesn't mean that I believe that media or tech people can be the people doing the versioning. It means that we need to bring people into our organizations that are the right kind of people to do that. So I think, the debate over whether that belongs in a creative agency or a media agency is more about the operational and skill set piece combined. Operationally, I think media organizations are more set up to do that. And then from a skill set, we need to bring those into our organizations to do it well. And I think more and more media agencies are doing exactly that.